Today my video is going to be a little bit different than normal. It's going to be about feedback on the map and the game that I would like to see changed that other people may or may not agree with, but I feel it should be said anyway just because all feedback can be helpful to devs, so I figure I might as well go with it. I'm going to start out with the most important thing to me, and that is the map and the layout. This is my least favorite map that I have been able to play in the game. I gave similar feedback back in February when we went to the Game Changers event, and I'm going to give more feedback that sounds pretty much probably as a broken record to them by now. I think the A, D, and G flag all need to be pushed down towards the E flag to give it more of a circular look on the overview. This would almost make an equidistant path between each flag and allow for the E flag to be less of an afterthought and more included in the fight. This would allow the Behemoth train to go through the center part of the map and provide fire support on almost every flag. That would then give you room to make F more intricate in the design of the canyons and almost be able to make it so you could fly through them, whereas right now it's just like a single canyon and that little rock bridge. And I would like to see that extended more because that's actually a really cool area. I think then that would allow for the D flag, which is right there by the train tracks, to actually have more intricate building layout and allow for more cover for people who are actually trying to cap that flag. The A flag would then be able to have the sand dunes raised around it, which would provide cover from the massive amount of snipers that are currently on the map. I think there should be more sand dunes between B and C flag. That would allow for all those camping snipers on the rocks to actually not have complete direct line of sight on you at all times, making the path between B and C much easier for you to run through. The C flag could actually then be expanded to have more of a town area, which would make that whole close quarter fighting a little bit more intense. It's fun now. I don't know if adding more would make it better. It's kind of a work in progress thought on that one. I might add more to that one later. And this is more of a side thought, but I think the dunes overall could be added to have more of a prevalent peak and valley area, making it so that planes could actually use them as cover from the flat cannons on the train or from the base, and planes could escape the area a little bit easier. From what I saw in February to what I saw now, I do think the map has improved in certain ways and taken a couple step backs in others. I would like to think that these ideas would actually help promote a little bit more balanced gameplay throughout and make snipers a little less, I don't know, annoying and allow for more infantry combat without worrying about constant barrage of sniper fire coming from the hills. I would say my favorite point on the map now is the weather. The sandstorm is fantastic. It gets rid of the snipers. It makes everything super close combat. The fog is great. It's a little less intense and allows for a little bit longer engagements, which is also great. Overall, I think these changes would actually help the map a lot and allow for more people to enjoy it, as a lot of the feedback I've been seeing on the forums and on Reddit is that not many people really like this map. And I can't say that I disagree. I think the map needs some work. I think it's getting there, but I would love to see some of these changes implemented to make it more fun for everybody. Moving on from that, we'll talk about some balance that I'd like to see changed or tweaked a little bit. But first, I'd like to talk about the elite class. Those classes are fantastic. I was worried that they could go either way. They could be super OP or super underpowered, and I think they struck a good balance with how they are used in the map. The flamethrower and the machine gun, their purpose in close range is to destroy people. They do that well. Outside of that close range, they're kind of useless, and that makes them dangerous in certain hands in certain areas. I'm terrible with the tank hunter, so I'm not even going to comment on that one. I think the SMGs handle much better than they did in the alpha build. I don't know if it's a placebo or I have a short-term memory loss, something going on, but I feel like the SMGs are a lot better. I've used some of the LMGs. They feel a little bit better as well. Like I said, it could be just me not remembering the alpha correctly, but it feels a lot better. Sniper gameplay is solid. I haven't really unlocked all the weapons there yet, so I haven't been able to test them all, but I feel the sniper class is actually useful in this game and can be used more than a camp on a hill class, and can be used as a aggressive sniper, taking points and just getting in there for a heavy battle and not feel completely underused. The saber on the horseback, your cavalry saber, that thing has the range of a freaking cannon. That needs to definitely be pulled in. The when you're swiping at somebody, you shouldn't be able to hit them from 100 feet away. It's obviously I'm exaggerating, but that's kind of how it feels when you're riding on horseback. Flat cannons, I think, definitely need some attention. The damage is either too high or the distance that you can actually shoot them is too high. There's just no escape from them. They're relentless. It makes flying difficult, and I think that pulling them back a little bit would allow for a little bit more pilot action. I've actually seen a lot of feedback regarding that as well. The people just feel the flat cannons are way too strong. And I agree, although I'm not the greatest pilot, so it could just be me being bad. So I'll reserve that for other people who want to take a crack at that one. Not really going to speak on too much tank gameplay as I'm really good at tanks right now. It could just be because everybody hasn't unlocked the AT gun and people are just trying to go in and throw dynamite. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll reserve that until near the end of the beta and give my final opinion on everything. My last point on balance, I'd like to talk about the Conquest scoring system. I am one of the people that has absolutely no issue with how they changed the balance for Conquest. I like the idea that capping flags is now purely about how many flags you own instead of how many people you've killed. For me, it shifts the focus from a team deathmatch with objectives to just playing the objective, and I like that a lot. One thing I would like to see tweaked, fixed, added, I don't know how you would describe this. But when you're down to the point where you get your behemoth reinforcement, it seems like it's impossible to come back, even if you start holding a ton of flags. I'm not sure if you'd call it ticket bleed, ticket gain, I don't know, whatever you call it. But it feels as if that you do not get enough points back to your score by holding a majority of points. I'm sure DICE is getting plenty of feedback, back end and user side, that'll allow them to tweak it as necessary. But I'd like to just wanted to point that out. It's more of a minor annoyance for me, but it would definitely help balance of the game if you could come back once you get the behemoth. I haven't seen it yet. And lastly, I'll talk about a little bit of the bugs. I'm not going to hit it too hard because the forum is full of people who have bug reports, so I'm just going to kind of reiterate a couple that have irritated me the most. Getting off a horse and maintaining the health of the horse as the person, that's super irritating. I mean, when you put 100 rounds into a guy and he's getting like 10 damage, 5 damage, that's crazy. I know they're aware of it, but that's probably the irritating one for me. There's also a little rock ledge near C that you can't vault. You'll do the same thing that happened during the alpha where you're trying to go over. You'll jump up and it'll kind of throw you back a little bit down the ledge. And the only other one that's really affected me a lot is the land ship. The sensitivity on that thing, unless you ADS, is super crazy high. And I know DICE is aware of all of these, and it's not going to be a huge issue as they're most likely already fixed since builds are usually a little bit older. But it doesn't hurt to point them out just in case. But I think overall, this game is really, really fun. I'm having a ton of fun with it. I've been seeing a lot of comparisons to Battlefront for some reason, and I mean completely outside of using maybe an animation or the same exact engine and the same rendering technique. The comparison is, hey, Tatooine's a desert. This map is a desert. This is definitely a Battlefront reskin. So I really, really despise those comparisons. But for those people, there is a silver lining. You don't have to buy the game. You're not forced to. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Easy. I, for one, am enjoying this game a lot. It's different, and it's just a fun game for me. It's back to Battlefield. I'm not going to give anything away, but I have seen other maps, and out of what ones I've seen, this is my least favorite. So if this is your least favorite, and you happen to be more infantry-centric with a little bit of vehicles like I am, you will be impressed with the offering that is coming. So I'm going to end it off here. If you agree, disagree, want me to shut up, let me know. But these are the points that I felt kind of needed to be hit on, and I hope others agree as well.